My name is Dave Moss. I spend approximately 200 days a year at racetracks all over the country, helping professional and amateur road racers and track day riders with suspension tuning on their motorcycles. This is Two Clicks Out.
You've got way too much air in the tire, Krystyna. It's only 25. It's supposed to be 28 hot. I'm going to take a couple pounds out. That should give you a bigger contact patch, which should really help generate heat.
I wonder what it felt like there was too much air.
So I took 1.5 pounds out of it. Go ahead and carry on. You're welcome. She's just rebuilt the R1 after she crashed it. So the first stop was a shakedown, see if anything's leaking, what's going on with the bike, making sure the belly pan's dry. There are a couple of clips that were loose. So basically get the bike, do some laps, make sure it's secure. Then she went out, started trying to get on the gas, but the bike wouldn't hook up. So it feels almost like you've got an old tire. And there's too much air in the tire. Contact patch is too small. That won't generate enough heat, won't get the carcass of the tire up to temperature, which won't give you any traction getting into the gas coming off the corner. It's fine when you're at neutral throttle, but when you really want to get into it, it doesn't give you the traction there, so it feels loose because it's doing a slip grip. So it's supposed to be 28 hot, she's at 25 hot, so we need to take some air out. Put more tire on the ground to generate more friction, which should raise the gain and get her tire temp and the carcass temp up to what we needed, which is 28 hot. Pirelli works that way where the carcass is so soft, it's so pliable that it requires a lot of carcass on the ground at all times to generate enough heat. But if you get too much heat, what's weird about a Pirelli is sometimes you need to let even more air out. So you'll do 26 hot. Because the carcass is soft, you put an even bigger contact patch on the ground, which will dissipate the heat faster. So sometimes Pirellis can cause you to go what would intuitively sound to ludicrous extremes to get the tire to work. But that's knowing your tire carcass. And so at tracks where they're very fast, you're on the tire for a long time, you'll run up to 26 hot because that'll keep the tire cool. Okay, so
I have my settings written down. You want me to get my notebook?
No, I'm just, at this point, I'm looking at your preload, which is it's just a little over half of the way in.
I tightened it up for Sears Point. That's the last place I wrote it.
Okay.
The front end felt really good there, but here it feels really sloppy. It just sort of, it feels okay under the brakes, but
yeah.
Coming into the corners, it just feels like it wants to sort of dance around as you go into the corners. So I don't know, I had Jimmy check my hot tire pressures, and he said they were good at 32 in the front.
Yeah, that's about right. You're, see how shiny this side of the tire is?
Yeah. Well, it's also the left side, but...
I know.
Okay.
But it's shiny on both.
Oh, yes.
And there's no difference there. The other thing is that the leading edge of the tire is tall. The back edge of the tire on the tread is rounded off and lower.
Yeah.
So what that's telling me, because you're explaining it to be sloppy on the brakes, the front end's going down, but it's kind of staying there and going.
Yeah, and that's exactly what, and mid-corner, like once I turn in and I'm off the brakes or trail braking a little bit, it just feels sloppy, like it wants to sort of dance around
okay,
as I
so
go through the corner.
Knowing that's the case, where you've even transferred the weight to the back of the bike and got the chain tight and started to roll on and the front's still not feeling right?
Still feels sloppy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cold out. The front forks are freezing cold. So what should you do?
Loosen it up a little bit.
To get what?
To get the travel back.
No.
No?
To get oil flow.
To get oil flow.
If you let the oil flow around, you get friction. If you get friction, you get heat. So in the mornings, especially when it's cold like this, you open your rebound up maybe 5 or 6 clicks from where you usually are to allow the oil to move around the fork.
Okay.
Now, the fact that you're riding that low in the stroke is a different thing altogether. That isn't rebound related. The rebound's keeping it down there a little bit, but you shouldn't be that far down in the travel this early in the practice.
Yeah.
So what I'd like you to do is add a turn of preload and 2 clicks of compression.
1 turn of preload, 2 clicks of compression.
And open your rebound up 5 clicks.
Open, rebound, 5 clicks. Now, that's kind of based on that we might have another practice session. What about this afternoon when I'm racing? Should it be close back up?
You need to do the preload and the compression. If your next practice is until the ambient temperature is up a little bit, take 3 clicks out of it. Because no matter what, it's really slow on rebound. And you need here, because it's bumpy, you need the tire back on the ground as quickly as possible, just like you would at Buttonwillow.
Okay.
Where it's bumpy, a bumpy track, you open the rebound up to force the tire back on the ground quickly.
Okay.
So do the preload.
Wait, let me write this down.
No, get the tools. 14 socket. All right, write it down. Krystyna, write it down first.
I don't want to forget.
No, that's fine.
I get confused, and I know that at least you appreciate that I write stuff down.
So, on your notes, when it's cold in the morning, you have to open rebound damping to allow the oil to flow. That's something, when it's 45, 50 degrees, you have to do. That's mandatory. Because the forks get way too much wind chill. You're doing 100 miles an hour or more in very cold air. So always open your rebound damping 3 to 6 clicks to let the oil flow and let it work.
Okay.
Now, because you're low in the stroke already and you're just warming up, we need to add 1 turn of preload and 2 clicks of compression in to firm up the front end and give you more structural support with the spring and hydraulic support with compression damping. And then you determine how many clicks you want to take out based on the fact that you won't be riding until this afternoon. So I'd say go at least 2, but no more than 5. And you choose. How old is the fork oil? A season?
Yes.
How many laps are the races? Are you doing the solo? Go 2. Because you're out there for 20 laps. So the oil's going to get hot anyway.
2 on rebound.
Only on rebound in the mornings.
But I mean, when you were just discussing the 20 lap, are you referring to just 2 clicks?
Just 2 clicks out. Because you're out there for a long period of time, the ambient temperature will be higher. So the oil will start to move. So you don't want to open it too much. Okay? All right.
Thank you, Dave. No, wait, when you said 1 full turn, do you actually mean...
In, righty-tighty.
No, I mean 1 full turn or
yes.
1 line? Just
no, 1
turn.
full turn.
Okay.
A line is approximately 2 1/4 turns.
Okay. I just want to clear that. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
And the rear end was perfect. It hooked up so good.
Okay.